dog run your way like Chuck Parsall, you ugly Armalay, my God. Daily main is the gone no smoney. It's pretty she grew in the gall of oh, say the baho, well, yeah, oh, say the baho, well, yeah, oh, say the baho, well, yeah. And it's a young Tory, a wheelery, not yet, go back and moon a being bio in the egg, shut and run your well. It's me, like guy Scott. Ag fogert crying egg all the poor say the baho, well, yeah, oh, say the baho, well, yeah, oh, say the baho, well, yeah. And it's a young Tory grease, oh, say the baho, well, yeah, oh, say the baho, well, yeah, oh, say the baho, well, yeah. And it's a young Tory.
Thanks very much, Stephen, for that. And with that, I'm going to announce or welcome the first speaker to the stage, a great Kerry woman, Michelle Keane.
Not as a mere statement, but let's get the message out here. We will not become a minority in our own country. This is our land. We will not hand it over to other non-Irish.
Another voice echoed, a voice louder than gunfire, the voice of Daniel O'Connor, the Liberator. Born in Carrick-Siveen in County Kerry, a man who believed in peaceful protest, in the power of people's will. O'Connell taught us liberty is not only won by the sword, but the steadfast belief in justice. He said, "My object is to achieve the liberty of my country, and to do so lawfully means." He warned us, the altar of liberty's tortures, when it's cemented only with blood and not with the heartfelt devotion of our Irish people. And he reminded us, the people's rights are paramount, and the people's will must be obeyed. Justice delayed is justice denied. I wonder what Patrick Pearse and Daniel O'Connell would think about traitors Micheál Martin and Simon Harris. protest. We will not be ignored. How can we speak of justice in this country when corruption poisons the roots of our nation? Thousands of unvetted men brought into our country, no background checks, no safeguards, some even recruited into our Garda Síochána, the very force sworn to protect us. How can we feel safe when those who should uphold the law turn a blind eye? Judges like Martin Nolan, who let paedophiles and rapists walk free. Judges like Sinead Beanan and Cork, who not only leave Irish women and children homeless, but also operate within a shadow banking system, helping wealthy husbands hide assets and pensions from their ex-wives and their children. A secret network where money vanishes, where women and children are robbed, not by chance, but by design. Judge James O'Donoghue, who was convicted for failing to provide a sample of breath at the request of an Gardaí, jailed me, a mother of 2 children, unlawfully in Limerick prison a week before Christmas for 4 days. Last week, Justice Emily Egan, who I believe has now colluded with the Irish government to destroy vital evidence in election rigging, misconduct that should be shamed, but here it brings promotion. Where is the justice? If this was any other country in the world, these judges would be impeached. This is our country. This is our republic. We live in a time of deep sorrow, of proud betrayal. Thousands of people have died. Excess deaths pushed aside. COVID vaccines and many other vaccine scandals hidden up. Questions left unanswered. Families shattered. Grieving without the truth, without closure. And while our people suffer, 16,000 Irish homeless wander our streets every day. We are pushed to the margins, to the pin of our collar. When homes are handed out to illegal migrants by our county councils and government, healthcare slips away, basic rights vanish before our eyes. We are at breaking point, folks. The rate of abortion spirals, lives lost ever before they begin, and the fires of old conflicts flicker dangerously close. We remember Ballymena, we remember the riots, the pain, the young girl who was brutally raped and whose life was torn apart. But even then, in that darkness, the 32 counties stood together. But today we rise, not as fractions, not as parties, but as Irish people, united by the love for this Ireland. These politicians were all selected, not elected. Some days are just days, but this day, a day that history will remember, because we refuse to sit on the silence. We, the Irish people, are you ready to stand up for your country? Are you ready to fight for your children? Are you Protestants, Catholics, north and south of the border ready to be one? Caramel Morgan, Chucky our law, off to the
Thanks very much, Michelle. Our next speaker is Eric English from Order What Says No. Alright, lads. Well, what a beautiful sight looking at us, these beautiful people. I tell you, they talk about white Irish privilege. If there is it, that's it here. That's a fact. Look, I'm not going to take too much of your time here, lads. I'm up here with a simple message, and that message is action. So, we come here to these protests, we have thousands of people, and we walk away from these protests and we say, what happens next? That's not up to the people up here speaking, that's up to every one of us standing out there. When we get home, we don't put our feet up on the chair, we don't sit back and relax, we get to work. You identify your civil servants, you identify your money men, not just your politicians. You identify your next door neighbour, you identify the NGOs, you identify all of those traders, and you shun them in your communities. You turn up outside their doors, outside their offices, and you go, move! Because the simple fact here is that the power of the people in here is the will of the Irish. And we know for a fact the will of the Irish will never be broken. It has never been broken before, and it will never be broken in the future. So my message here is get ready for the future, because the fight has not started, it's already begun. And we're in the middle of it. So mount up, get involved in communities, and start getting out there and bringing the fight to them. Don't sit on your backside waiting for others. Get up and be your own leader. I have two more things to say. We need to look back in time here, not just into the future. And we need to look back at the mass genocide that was attempted on our people through death jabs. There's plenty of people that are willing to speak about it, and we need to hear those people. What we also need action from the people behind that. So we need to go and we need to follow the likes of Patrick McGreal, the likes of Barry from Wake Up Era, and anybody that's bringing a challenge on this. Because we don't forget. We do not forget, and we will always go back and these people will be pulled out. And as for the future, we are the holders of our own destiny, lads. So as bad as they are destroying our country, it is up to each and every one of us to stand up and make that barrier in front of them and tell them, he ain't doing it. Because I'll fight here before I leave he walk over me, and that's a fact. Last two things, they're not about protesting. It's about two men. One of them celebrates his birthday today, one celebrates next week. So I want you all to give them all a round of applause. I wish him a happy birthday, and that's Clive Dempsey and Fergus Power. And I'll leave you with this, lads. This country has never been broken. People might have laid down and left themselves to be walked all over. But if you go look back even pre-1916, we've Irish men and women that stood up strong and never faltered. And we're now following that lineage. So it's up to us to make that fight even stronger and win. Aaron Gabran, Chucky Arlo. I nearly forgot that.
With a firearm and the rosary beads for the love of God and country. Without God, there's no leader. The Irish people need to get back to their faith, because through our faith, we are going to take our island back. They've taken God out of the schools. They've taken the Lord out of the hospitals, where the Lord is most needed. Where the sick and vulnerable people need the Lord the most. And while they're taking God out of the country, they're bringing people in here that are worshipping a false God. The Irish people need to get back to the basics. They need to get back to God and country, community.
Family.
That's right, we do need to stick together. But you can see how the movement is going now. We can all see that we are being invaded, and the regime are given the backing of it. But as I said, when the true Irish people get into the door, that is all going to stop. Erika Bra, it's Brother Miller. Jesus is King.
The next speaker is Patrick Quinlan, if he can make his way to the stage. What is happening to this city? Absolutely love it! Electric! My friends, my family, my people. We're not just a crowd gathered here today. We are the sons and we are the daughters of Ireland. We have inherited a legacy that has been carved from the emerald earth beneath your feet and has been written in the stars of our people's dreams. Look around you. Every face, every heart carries the same unbreakable thread. Our past, our struggles, our triumphs, they bind us, not as strangers, but as a family grown large that Pierce talked about. It's run through our veins. It's a river of memory that no storm can wash away. And today, the Irish people here, we stand as one, ready to write the next chapter of our people's story. Think of those who came before us. They toiled under unrelenting sun and storms. They built homes with calloused hands, and they stood tall against every toil that sought to break them. 620,000 were massacred by Cromwell's blades. Millions more of our people were scattered to the four corners of the world. Our language, our culture, our very soul has been pushed to the brink time and time again. And yet, we are still here, and we are still Irish. But today, the war has changed. We face a new battle. It's not with swords and it's not with bullets, but it's with ideas. Micheál Martin and the Serpents in Dáil Éireann are following in the footsteps of their English predecessors. They're telling us that anyone can be Irish. But when everyone's Irish, no one's Irish. The very idea of a sovereign Gaelic state and the death of it is what they want. What do we want? They're ashamed to be born Irish. They're spitting on a cultural inheritance that we've inherited over the course of thousands of years. They tell us that we have no right to be proud of our roots, our story or our blood. But I'm telling you, the only thing worse than being born Irish is not being born Irish. Look at the priorities. €415 million in 3 months so far this year. They're after thrown into iPads. It's a black hole that's misappropriating our resources that we're working hard, because it's not their money, it's ours. That money could have built 1,400 homes for our people. It could have been used to hire 340 doctors or 690 teachers and pay them for a decade. I ask you, so much that I could see his blood upon the road. Oh, grace just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out of dawn and I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Look, we won't keep us too much longer, but we have Stephen Kerr and Suzanne Delaney who do great work on all of this stuff, so if you can give them a couple of minutes of your time. Come on, Aaron! Yeah! Come on, everyone.
I can jump down.
My name is Stephen Kerr, Suzanne Delaney. We have an online platform called the Irish Inquiry. Some of you will have seen we put out a video last week showing us being illegally kicked out of Croke Park. Why? Because we're not Muslim. There seems to be an issue with Christian Irish people there. What you didn't see on that video, however, is that at the same time that we were getting kicked out, Mr. Umar al-Kadri standing on stage speaking about Ireland being the land of Céad Míle Fáilte, and 100,000, well, couldn't make it up. In case you didn't hear me there, what I said is, while we were getting kicked out of Croke Park, Dr. Umar al-Kadri was standing on stage speaking about Ireland being the land of Céad Míle Fáilte. Couldn't make it up. He spoke of how welcoming Ireland has been, while at the same time ejecting us from the sacred ground where Christians were massacred in the past. That video went viral. It got about 1 million views in less than 24 hours. But ever since then, social media platforms, at the behest of Commission the Man, no doubt, have clamped down on the Irish inquiry, rendering us all but invisible and silent. But they can't silence us from this stage, can they? So, we're here today to say to you that we stand with you, and we always stand with you. And we say to you to fly your flag. And we say to reject the dehumanising of Irish people being called mongrels, while everyone coming into this country is being referred to as being more Irish than us. We are the native Irish people. This is our ancient motherland, and we will never stop fighting for our freedom. Please, I'm going to pass you over to Suzanne Delaney now.
Thanks everybody for giving me the time to speak to you here today. I really appreciate that. I don't know if you all heard that this week, in a very dystopian move, this government decided that they automatically own everybody's organs. But I don't think they got the memo, because judging by the crowd here today, our hearts belong to Ireland. So era of the visa immigrants, and to those who call us mongrels, I'd like to extend an expression that we used to say when I grew up in Cordos and Blanchardstown. Come over here and say that! I just want to say I used to, walk along the Liffey with my mother when I was a child, and I used to be able to come into this city as a child by myself, and now I don't come in here, not alone and not with my child. And one thing many of you will remember about the Liffey back then is that it stank. And it doesn't stink anymore, but there's something that does stink, and they're sitting up there, it's all Ireland. I won't keep you much longer, but I wrote something a couple of years ago, and some of you may have heard it before, but for those of you who haven't, I feel like it's very, very relevant for today. This is called Open Borders. These traitors don't care for the security of our nation, for background checks or the Dublin regulations. They don't care for documents that would have revealed a place or a past now forever concealed. Nor do they care for where they came, who they are, or what's their name. Cultural differences are to be embraced, as are those who can't be traced. They don't care for statistical fact. There's criminals amongst them, to be exact. And there's those who will be keen to escape a criminal record.